All right. Madam Chair, the situation where we have today is that people living under the poverty line or living on pocket money in countries where they do not have jobs, but still, in spite of all that poverty, in spite of all the crying babies and the mothers struggling to feed the babies, you still want to feed on an industry that is actively indulging in this poorness and this behavior. And we as Gov argue that we decide to ban all slum tourism and we regard it as something that should be punished by law in the sense of jail time, depending on how proportional they abuse the slum tourism industry. And we decide that our winning standards for today should be which side can best protect these impoverished people and provide a better condition of life for these people. And we argue that the reason we cannot allow this to happen is because we cannot have people in the streets who do not have anything, by the way, who are not educated or do not have enough money to get themselves off the streets, be profited on because it feeds the system. And our end game is that we want a government that eventually looks not to benefit the income of their country, but rather to a government that decides that they cannot abuse these people for money and actually creates jobs that benefits them in the long run. And I have 2 points for you today, Madam Chair. First being corruption and the second being human trafficking. So let's be clear, all right? Slum communities, tourism do not benefit slum communities. The tours and the running around the bad neighborhoods, the tourism's going in there, the exuberant amounts of profit hardly ever go to the slums. The way they do go to is that they go to the governments that earn off these taxes and the tour guides and the packages that get off this money. And yes, we acknowledge that while some meager donation will come from these beggars and all, we would argue that by indulging them and by giving them this kind of money, we are only keeping them in a cycle that they will never break. Because once they decide that, yes, I can earn money from here, yes, I am earning money from here, they will never decide to get a better life. And can I just say that the whole idea of slum tourism is completely disrespectful and obscene. The whole idea of slum tourism is that rich tourists from better countries and better living standards are supposed to come to a poor neighborhood because it's supposedly enjoyable and enriching to watch these people live. Yes.
But don't you think that slum tourism would in fact benefit the economy and create an income for these living in slum areas when these people living in slum areas can create crowds and sell souvenirs?
No, I don't. And let me tell you why I don't. Okay. By banning slum tourism, you are actually enriching an economy because once the government realizes that, hey, our method of profit is not working, they will actually try to create jobs. They will provide subsidies on education and be pressured to actually give proper housing, training, and employment. Then only then we will create better living standards and on a better economy. And yes, we argue, we know it will be difficult and so in the short run, where people will have to struggle at first to learn. But we argue that it's much more of a long-term solution as opposed to you saying that A, you're going to get tourism, B, get enough empathy for these tourists to donate or buy these goods, C, have these slums get enough money to properly change, and D, finally get these the people that live in these slums to wisen up and get out of this standard of life by finding a proper job and proper housing. And on to my second point, human trafficking. Let's imagine you live in a slum. You are poor, uneducated, maybe you're lucky and you're physically fit enough and you can do manual labor. But what if you're not? What if you are vulnerable? What if you're a beggar or even a woman? And someone tells you, come with me, I will give you shelter, I will give you money. What do you expect the beggar to do? They can't be a chooser. Of course, they will try to take the money and try to earn living wherever they can because they know that without it, they are all worse off without it. Let me be clear. This is why human trafficking will occur. That's how it starts, and that's why it will never end. Because once these people are so desperate and decide that they can either sell their body, sell their children's bodies, or use whatever services that they can provide to the carnal needs of people, they won't stop. They will be made into prostitution and beggar syndicates, where the only people profiting off this is sure you get a couple dollars a day, but the